Everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? Good evening, everyone. This is pretty loud. Hey, everyone. Oh, I think I gotta save my battery. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get my battery together. All right, everybody. I am so sorry about that. Forgot to plug up my laptop, so my battery was dying. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so sorry. I just been so late today. I've been dealing with so much stuff, but that's all right. We are here on today. Hope you all are doing well. I still got my song playing. I'm telling you, this song has been a blessing. We do not own the rights to this music. We are just playing it for entertainment purposes. Yes. So I hope everyone is doing great. I am back. We are back. Pastor BJ Connections. Our podcast is back on this evening. And so I am yours truly, none other than Pastor Brenda G. Jones. And so I'm back with Healing Your Heartbeat. Healing Your Heartbeat. We are excited about that because a lot of people need to heal. A lot of people are trying to heal, wanting to heal, but struggling with healing. And so I'm definitely wanting to help people with their healing process, their deliverance, getting over it, making sure that you're over it. Don't revisit it. One thing about the healing process is that I've learned that you have to divorce your hurt. You have to divorce all those things that come to try to make you revisit all those painful places, all those dark places, all those sad places, all those depressed places. Yeah, you got to divorce your hurt. Somebody needs to tell themselves, let me begin divorcing my hurt, the divorce process of my hurt. That's what you need to begin to tell yourself. Let me begin to divorce all of that. So that way I can move on in my life. That way I can begin to grow. I can begin to prosper the way that I want to prosper. I will begin to go through um, all these, get to this wonderful place of peace and contentment, solitude. That way you can begin to really live your life the way you want to live your life, right? So, yeah. So, we're doing this thing, healing your heartbeat. That's what we're doing. This is where we're discussing on this evening. We are back. Go ahead, y'all, share. Like, we are only on, well, I did share it to my Facebook page. And I also shared it to my Instagram page. I'm getting better at this thing, y'all. I'm getting better at it. A little bit better, yeah. So I hope you all have a great day. Hey, howdy, Miss Lady. Hey, how you doing? Good evening to you, Elma. Good evening, good evening. So I hope you all do me a favor and share, invite somebody to come take this journey, right? Take this journey. Hope everything is going well, Elma. Healing your heartbeat, healing your heartbeat. That's what we're talking about. This is our podcast, Healing Your Heartbeat. And I want you all to do the work, put the work in, make the thing happen, right? Um, and so I want you to really, dive into this thing and make it happen. So I hope you all had a great day. My last couple of weeks at work have been, yeah, crazy, so crazy. But I found some peace today. I really did. I found some peace. I decided that I was not going to allow everything to stress me out, make me want to, act crazy and go crazy. So I decided that I was going to find my peace. And I did. And I really, really did. I ate my salad because, like, the last couple of weeks or so, I've been like really eating. Me and my mother talked about this, and she was like, you need to watch yourself when you're emotional because you eat. And I agreed. I've known this about myself for a moment now, that I am an emotional eater. And so I said, yeah, I know I'm an emotional eater. So that's part of your healing journey, knowing what your triggers are, knowing what sets you off, and knowing what you do when those things come about in your life. I am an emotional eater, everybody. I'm standing up and I'm admitting it. And I know that I am. And so because I know that I am, I had to really regroup, had to really do some praying and searching, and so yeah, I found some peace today, even in the midst of all the craziness that was going on. I ended up finding some peace. And so you have to know what those triggers are, and you have to know how to get yourself back around and bring yourself back around. I'm telling you, because I've been eating like tasty cakes and bread, and I'm not a bread eater, and I've been really eating, I've been putting it away. Yeah. So you got to know what those triggers are, everybody. Know what your triggers are. So you got to learn in this emotional journey how to divorce your hurt. Begin the divorce process. Begin to file the papers. Begin to come to the acceptance that the relationship is over, and that you will have to deal with this. I'm sorry, y'all. This is my job. Um, so you have to learn how to deal with that, and that you figure this thing out, right? And you learn what triggers whatever. But in order to start this journey, you got to get to the place and decide that you're really ready to divorce your hurt. You're really ready to divorce your pain, your disappointments, your rejection, your abandonment, your trauma. You have to get to that place. Say, I'm really ready to move forward. So listen, listen. Um, I was, just rehearsing some things over in my mind this week, and I was going over some things, and I was thinking about some things. And it's a good thing where you can think about some past things in your life, some trauma in your life, some past hurts and disappointments in your life, and you can really think about it without getting upset, without getting angry, without wanting to dismiss it and erase it, like, I don't want to deal with that, I don't want to go to that place. I can deal with those areas in my life now where I can think about them and even talk about them and not become so emotional about them. So I was thinking this week, and we're going to talk about a little bit about control, right? We're going to talk about control. But before we get there, I was going through some things in my mind, and I realized something. Before I started my journey, even while I was on my journey and I began my journey of healing, guess what I used to do, everybody? And I bet you do the same thing. That you subconsciously uh um God, at least I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. That you subconsciously actually sabotage relationships. How many of you really think about it and you honestly sabotage relationships? It don't matter what kind of relationships. If you feel like that relationship is becoming too entangled with emotion, or causing you to feel a way that you don't really want to feel, meaning whether it's healthy, listen, I'm talking about healthy relationships. This is a good relationship. That this is a beneficial relationship, but you begin to sabotage those relationships before they even can really blossom into something wonderful and beautiful. Right? You sabotage. I thought to myself, I was driving, right? One thing about me, early in the morning, I get really clear thoughts and ideas and clarity. Early in the morning is really clear for me. Late at night, really not so much. That's why I can't understand why I'm doing a podcast this late, but nevertheless. But listen, so early in the morning is really clear for me, right? And I realized, and I was like, oh my God, Brenda, you would sabotage relationships along the way. I mean, with good guys, they were really good. Some of them really needed to be sabotaged, but nevertheless, right? But with really good guys, even with friends, I would sabotage relationships. I will only allow the friendship to go but so far. And then next thing you know, I'll be like, I won't talk to them anymore. Not because they were so bad or something happened or something like that. Because I just decided, I didn't understand, or I was so used to feeling what a negative relationship felt like, that when something healthy came along or something good came along, that feeling was strange to me. So it was uncomfortable to me. So I would sabotage it and push it away. I'm raising my hand because I used to do that all the time. I used to do that. And so one thing about that, when you sabotage relationships, one thing about that is because you were trying to gain some type of control, right? You're trying to gain some type of control. I used to say it all the time. It's my control. I need to control it. I couldn't control. Let me tell y'all, right? So I'm talking to this guy, and this was some months back. We're talking to this guy, and I think this guy is a really decent guy, really nice guy. Um, really liked him, the whole 9 yards. And I thought we were having a great time and all this other stuff, right? And so me and the guy, he decided that he didn't want to really move on in a relationship and everything like that, which is no problem, right? And remember, I told you that you got to recognize your triggers. You got to recognize your triggers, right? And so I was in my own self. Listen, so even in my healing journey, as far as I believe that I have come in my healing journey, I had got so upset, right? I was upset, and he was helping me out with some things, right? So I went over his house, and I was like, I need to get this, and this, because he was helping me out with some things. I'm not, I don't want to call any names or throw out a whole bunch of identifying information, right? So anyway, and I think it's a cool guy, right? Nice guy. I think he's a really nice guy. I think he's really cool. And so listen now, right? Because I've had to deal with the spirit of rejection in my life. So let me tell you something, right? I had to deal with the spirit of rejection in my life. And so in the spirit of rejection, just in that moment, because he needed some space and some time or whatever, it's okay, right? And that moment, I felt some kind of way, right? And so here it is. Now we're standing in front of him. It wasn't a bad argument or anything like that. And he would tell you, like, if I put him up here, we're like, no, it wasn't even bad like that. But in my mind, it was horrible. It was terrible. And I'm dealing with this spirit of rejection creeping up in me again. It's nothing personal, right? Because everybody has a right to put themselves in a certain place and space and say what they want and what they don't want, how they want it and how they don't want it, right? And so with that, I'm standing, he's standing, we're in front of one another, and I'm pissed. Oh man, I'm so mad, right? And so I'm like, he was like, you don't have to do what you're doing, Brenda. It's fine. It's not a problem for me. And he's genuine in what he's saying. But now look at this, the spirit of sabotage, the spirit of rejection. And now now all of these are in the forefront of me right now. And I'm like, no, but I did it. And he was like, why? Why? He's asking me why. And I had to stop for a second. And I had to take a deep breath, and I had to, in the midst of all of that, nothing's being said. He's standing there, I'm standing there, and we're looking at each other. And I had to ask myself in this moment, what is going on, Brenda? What is going on? Because I'm upset, I'm pissed, I'm mad, I'm emotional, and this is not a big argument. We're not even arguing. We're talking, y'all. We're talking. Hear me what I'm saying, right? And this is all, and I told him in that moment. He said, what is going on? What's wrong? And I told him in that moment, I said, I want to do this right now. This is what I told him. I said, I want to do this right now because this is what I can control about this situation. Woo! That was big. That was so big, right? So what I said all of that is because you got to know what's going on. What is triggering those emotions? What is triggering that hurt? What is triggering that moment in you, right? And I told him, I said, this is what I can control right now. And so I need to control this right now because I cannot control what is going on between you and I. So I need to control this, what I can control. And he looked and he's like, wow, right? And then I told him, because right now I feel like you're rejecting me. And he said, it's not the case. Sabotage, right? Now I'm sabotaging. Now I'm trying to project feelings that are not there. So you got to know how to reach you in those moments. You have to know how to reach you. Forget about somebody else reaching you. You have to know how to reach you in that moment. So, right? So in that moment, he's being the gentleman that I know that he is, right? So in that moment, he goes and he hugs me, right? To comfort me, and I pull away. Watch this. I had to deal with this, right? I pull away. And when I pull away, the first thing that he does, when he realizes that I'm pulling away, what is the first thing that he does? The first thing that he does is that he steps back and he put his hands up. Whoo, right? Look at this. And in the midst of all of that, he let me have the control. Because that's what I needed at that point in time. And then in the midst of all of that, right? After that, he says, are you okay? And then I'm saying, I'm okay. Because now I have to get me together. It wasn't so much him. It was more me, right? And so listen, while you're on your spiritual journey or your healing journey, right? Your healing journey, because all of this, I believe that all of these things are spirit. There's a spirit of trauma. There's a spirit of abandonment, of rejection. These are spirits that attach themselves to in our lives, you know, even sometimes when we're very young. And if we're not careful, we carry those spirits along with us. We carry those spirits along with us until we deal with those things so they can no longer control our lives. And that's part of healing your heartbeat. When you're healing your heartbeat, you have to understand what it is that has brought you to that place. And so you'll continue to repeat those cycles over and over again until you divorce that hurt. Now, listen, on this journey, you can get through your healing journey and divorce your hurt, but it doesn't mean that stuff will not come back up in your life. But when it comes back up, when you're healed and when you're whole, and it comes back up in your life, you know how to handle it. And to this day, we're good friends. Matter of fact, I was just talking to him this evening, right? I was really talking to him this evening. And this is big. This is key, right? He calls me, texts me. I call him, text him. There's no bad feelings because we understand and we know. And most importantly, I know where I'm at. So the biggest thing with healing your heartbeat, going through this journey, there are 3 types of control that I have identified. I'm not saying that these are the ones I have identified, the control that I have identified, right? While you're coming on, say hi, let us know that you're here. Go ahead and share, like and share, everybody, while you're coming on. All right. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me. All right. These are 3 types of control that I have identified. 1, when you're losing control, right? The second one is being in control. And the third one is surrendering control. Now, surrendering control can be you surrendering your control or surrendering control whereas though it's healthy. So you got to be careful with that one when you surrendering control. And you got to be careful of who you're surrendering control to, right? Because you can surrender control, but in surrendering control, are you surrendering control because you're in a domineering, oppressive or abusive situation? So you're surrendering all of your control and they're controlling you, controlling everything? Or you're surrendering control, but it's a place of trust, right? Kind of like if you're in a relationship, you're surrendering the control to your significant other or your spouse because you can trust that they won't drop you, right? And then losing control. When you're losing control, that's when you're totally emotional. So your behavior, your emotions are erratic, all over the board. You're having a moment. For me, in this situation that I talked about with me and this gentleman, it was me trying to be in control. And I told him, I need to control this because I can't control what's going on with you and I, but I need to control this. So even after that moment, that moment happened between him and I even had to go back to my own self and sit and evaluate my own self. Why did this all come back up? Why did my control come back up? Why did my sorry y'all. Ooh, that's why I shouldn't be doing this at night, because we're clear in the morning, right? Why did the spirit of, or the feeling of rejection come back up, right? Why did I feel the way that I feel, or felt, should I say? Why did I feel the way that I felt in that moment when it really was not as big as I made it? It was not bad. After everything was over and I sat and I evaluated myself, I assessed the situation. But, when I had my time alone, when I'm in my meditation time, when I'm in my prayer time, right? And I had to sit and assess and evaluate all this stuff and meditate on my actions. Guess what I realized? Like, Brenda, you made something so big when it really wasn't. Whew. So in your journey of healing your heartbeat, you have to evaluate that moment. And even in that moment, you have to be still. One thing I realized when him and I were standing in front of one another and he was asking me what's going on, what's happening right now, right? And I had to really ask myself. Everything was quiet, everything was peaceful at that moment. And when he was asking me what he was asking me, I had to really stop for a second. And he gave me time to stop for that moment. And he didn't know I was asking myself that, right? When I responded, he understood that maybe she's thinking, right? So in that moment, I had to stop and ask myself, Brenda, what's going on? What is going on? What is happening right now? This is part of your healing journey, right? And so you will sabotage something that's not really that bad, not hurtful, because you're dealing and you're struggling within yourself. You got that spirit of abandonment. You got that trauma coming up. You got that pain coming up. You got that disappointment coming up. You have that rejection coming up. And you got to figure out why. You have to figure out what about this moment in time is triggering all of this at that moment. You have to figure it out. So in the midst of it, when you're feeling these emotions and dealing with these emotions, you got to figure out, are you in survival mode? And most of the time, that's really what it is, that we go into straight survival mode, protection mode. Y'all understood? Y'all heard it, fight or flight. Right? Y'all heard that, fight or flight, right? You're going to do one or two, one or the other. You're going to fight or you're going to fly, or you're going to flee. You're going to run or you're going to stand and you're going to hold your ground, or protect who you are, protect your space. So you gotta figure out what's going on. Why is it pushing you? Why is this scenario causing you to deal in this manner? And sometimes we create it when it's really not there, because that's sabotage, creating something to negatively affect something else, to ruin it, to cause it to bring nothing, to bring it to naught, to end it, because we don't understand, or we know that this is good, but now it's becoming uncomfortable because we're not familiar with that healthy feeling, that healthy space. We're not comfortable with that person. We struggle with trust, right? When you don't understand how you arrived at that place and why you're losing control, then you gotta go back. You gotta always go back. Okay. And you gotta begin to dissect. The only way, okay, and this might seem gory or whatever, right? But this is the analogy, right? When somebody passes away, and law enforcement, medical don't know why a person passed away, then they perform what they call an autopsy. And what they do, you have the police officers or the detectives, they're researching or they're talking to find out this person's last moments. Okay, where was this person at last? What did they eat last? Where were they at? Who was with them last? Who spoke to them last? Who saw them last? They try to put a timeline on this person last known events of their life, right? And then the medical examiner is taking it, and the medical examiner is actually examining the body, going through all the different from the head to the toe of this person's body, trying to determine the cause of death, right? And then they go back to, okay, did they have any medical history of any type of heart disease or this, that, or the other? They go back. And so that's the same thing with you, right? It seemed like a gory analogy, but it really is. Listen, you have these areas in your life that have come up in your life, and they have caused problems in your life along the way, right? And if you don't deal with them, then eventually what it's going to do is kill you. It's going to kill you emotionally because it's already doing damage. It's going to kill you spiritually because it's doing damage. It's going to kill you mentally because it's doing damage. And everybody knows statistically, right? Stress, trauma, hurt, it also causes physical ailments in your body. Ooh, I got a bad book right there, y'all. It causes physical ailments in your body. So you got to go back to figure out what has brought me to this place in my life. And listen, I'm telling you, the work is not easy all the time. You're not going to want to revisit some places and some spots, and and then you'll figure out why you don't like you, right? Why you don't like you, why this bother you. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm short. Everybody know. Well, if you know me, you know I'm short, right? I'm short. I never liked being short. I've always been tiny, always been short, small, right? I never liked it. And then, I always struggle with the fact that, hey, I wish I was taller, because, it seemed like people overlook me because I'm short. And then also, right, as I'm getting older, I'm loving it, right? Because I don't look my age. I always look younger, so much younger than what I really was. And so I was like, well, I'm no, I always got to figure it. People always got to treat me like I'm younger than what I really am, even though I act mature and da 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 da. Right? But as I get older, I'm loving it, y'all. Because I'm aging gracefully. Yes. So, but listen, there's always going to be some things in your life that you don't like. And you got to figure out if these things are just quirks in your life or they real hindrances in your life. And if they're real hindrance in your life, y'all remember on, what is it called? Oh, dang. The Help, the movie The Help, right? And we all started saying it because we thought it was so cute, but it's so powerful. When the maid was telling the little blonde haired white girl, right? She would tell her, "You're smart. You're beautiful." What she say? "You is smart. You is beautiful. You is intelligent. You all this stuff," right? She would tell her, right? And because her mom, look at this, her mom really didn't have anything for this little girl, kind of like pushed her away, called her fat, treated her, indifferent, because she didn't like herself. Mama didn't like her own self. Mama was not happy in her own marriage. We can dissect that whole entire that whole entire scene, right? Mama would just not take time out with her, would not spend time with her, any of that stuff. She always ate too much for the mom, all this stuff. And guess what? The maid understood that this little girl's gonna grow up with some complexes, some difficulties in her life, because her mama treated her a certain way. And some of us, we're dealing with these past trauma, this past hurt, because the way people treated us when we were younger and we were little and we were kids. There was something in your life that caused you, whether or not you were a teenager, young adult, something hit your life that caused you some hurt, some damage, some wounds that is still affecting you in your adulthood, should I say. So the maid would tell her, "You is beautiful, you is smart," right? Tell her all these positive affirmations to build her, because her mother was tearing her down. So if we were to assess that little girl, she would deal probably with the spirit of rejection, abandonment, right? Even trauma, because remember the scene where they put the toilets all out on the lawn and the little girl, she had to go to the bathroom. She ain't know nothing different, so she went to the bathroom and embarrassed her mom, and her mom went off on her and started hitting her. The little girl probably like, "I was going to the bathroom." So the bathroom is bad. Now she probably equating the bathroom being bad because the way her mom responded to her. Trauma because you've been sexually abused, you was touched inappropriately, someone took your virginity before it's time, you were physically whipped like crazy, someone pushed you away, didn't want you, you experienced a bad death at a young age, you seen someone die, or you seen someone shot, or you seen someone getting high all the time or overdosing, whatever it is, you see, somebody drinking all the time, acting out, flipping over tables, acting a pure monkey fool. As a child, as a young adult, as a teenager. And so this caused you to have some complexes, some hurts, some wounds, some trauma in your life. And as you get older and as you begin to change, your life change, you begin to date and all this other stuff, who is attracted to you is what's in you. Some people connect because of their trauma. Some people connect because of their past. And when you're connecting and a mirror image of your trauma, your hurt, your neglect, your abuse, your oppression, your depression, that means you are not healed. That means you have a ways to go. You are not healed. You don't want somebody connecting with somebody that's a mirror image of your wounds and your hurts. Oh my gosh. Because you will always stay there. It's just like two drug addicts. Two drug addicts connect because they have an addiction, and so guess what? I'm going to connect up with you. You're going to connect up with me because we got this same addiction going on, and we can fuel and feed each other addiction. Because you want to get high, I want to get high, we going to get high. No, that's not how you heal. So if you're attracting those people to your life, then you gotta sit back, evaluate what is happening in your life. I know I'm talking with my hands a lot, y'all. I shouldn't, but I am. You gotta evaluate, like, where are the areas in my life that I need to heal from? Right? Those are big. So when you're trying to gain control, or you're losing control in your healing journey, and you're still dealing with those things, that's because you're not sure of yourself. You're not sure, you're not confident in yourself. And you got to figure it out. You got to say, "Ooh, okay." And so listen, the best way to do that is to get a journal. The best way to do that is get a journal and start writing. I was telling this on one of my podcast series, I had some guests on there, right? And we were talking about, and I kept saying, like, listen, man, let me tell you, I would attract men that were in uniforms. And that had everything to do with my father. Had everything to do with my father. And then I would notice certain things. And one day I sat down in my bedroom, right? I was in my house, and I sat down in my bedroom, and I got one of my journals out, and I began to write. I put all the men's name down, right? That I dealt with or had been dealing with or whatever, right? I put all the men name down, and I began to write the different characteristics of that particular man. And I realized, and I found out that I was able to pinpoint almost everybody's list had almost the exact same things on their list. So when you're on your healing journey, you got to sit down and you got to begin to evaluate, assess your life. Write down some things. Some things are hurtful. Some things are hard to write. And you might have to take a step back, and you might have to say, I'm not ready to do that right now. I'm not ready to do that work with that right now. So let me deal with this piece that I can deal with. You don't have to eat the whole cake. You can take it slice by slice, slice by slice. You don't have to sit and try to gorge the whole entire cake. Take it slice by slice. And when you're ready to cut another slice and to deal with it, then you can do that. You don't have to try to gorge the whole entire cake. You don't have to. This is a process. This is a process. And it doesn't happen overnight. It might take you years. But if you put in the work and you walk this thing out, I promise you, you're going to be at a better place. You're going to be at a place of peace. You're going to be at a better place of laughter. You're going to see the world different. You're going to enjoy your life a little better. I'm telling you, things in your life will flow a little differently. I'm not saying you're not going to have any problems or issues or anything like that in your life, because we all going to have that. Long as we're living here on this earth, we're all going to have that. But you'll find out that your healing journey is going to bring life into your life. Does that make sense? All right. So your healing journey requires for you to take a good look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Some of us really don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. It's going to require, and not only just see the outward you, but see the inward you. See all the tears. See in your eyes, right? They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. What's really going on the inside that you don't want nobody to see? Take off the mask. I have a book that I wrote, Tears Beneath the Mask. And I go through all these things in my life and talk about my childhood on up, right? To a certain point, right? And so, tears beneath the mask. A lot of us, we wear these masks. We try to parade around in these masks. We try to make everybody believe that this is the real us, when in reality, it's a mask. And they don't. And listen, I don't care about, you know, your title, your position in the church, and all that other stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff, because guess what? Sometimes people in the church are the greatest actors and actresses. They will, man, Academy Award. They're just not nominated. They actually win it. So your title, your position, what you do, bishop, elder, evangelist, missionary, doctor, so-and-so, it doesn't matter if you jacked up on the inside. It does not matter if you are jacked up on the inside. None of that matters. None of it. Because you're going to continue to repeat the same old cycle over and over again. And if you're in the leadership role, if you're trying to help other people and you're not helped, you're not whole, you're not healed, and you say, oh, well, sometimes you got to lead while you bleed. I hate that saying. That's a lie. Lead while you bleed. No, if you're bleeding, then guess what? You're contaminating everybody and everything you come in contact with. There's only one person blood that had the reverse effect. And that's Jesus Christ, our Lord. His blood washed away our sins. Your blood don't have that ability to wash nothing away. It contaminates. And guess what? And if you keep bleeding and you're leaving trails of blood, then eventually you're going to stink. So listen, even if you are a woman in a position, get whole, get healed. Heal your heartbeat. Heal your heartbeat. So take a good look at yourself. And when you really begin to heal, you're going to look so different to yourself. And the reason why you don't like yourself now, when you really take a good look at yourself, because you're looking through distorted eyes. You're looking through distorted eyes. But I love Psalms 139. It tells us that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. But when you're not healed and you're not whole, you're never going to see how wonderful and how beautiful you are. You're always going to see the jacked up you. You're always going to see the things that you don't like about you. You're always going to pick something out about you and your life that you hate, because you're looking through distorted eyes. You're looking through eyes that are wounded, that are hurt, that are traumatized. But we're healing your heartbeat. So I want you to do the work this week. I want you to do the work this week. I want you to sit and begin to slice the cake. I want you to take it piece by piece. Whatever part you want to work on, whatever age you want to start with, I want you to begin to do it. If you say, you know what, something happened to me at the age of 6. I can deal with that. Let me start there. Let me write down what I felt at that moment. Because guess what? If it had that much of an impact on you, you still know what that feels like. If it's 13, I can deal with the age of 13. If it's 22, let me deal with the age of 22. And then go from there. Begin to do the work in your life. Begin to heal. Slice by slice, piece by piece, area by area. Smile, because you're divorcing your hurt. Somebody say that on tonight. Divorce your hurt. Divorce your hurt. We're divorcing our hurt on tonight. Divorce your hurt. Start drawing up the papers saying it's time that we no longer live together, sleep together, go to work together, eat together, go out on dates together. There's no, it's no longer to continue on this relationship with your hurt and your pain, your past. All right? Divorcing your hurt. That's right. Divorce it. No longer are you going to go take it out on a date. That's going to be your date. No longer is that going to be your Saturday night movies, ice cream, pizza, cheesecake, alcohol, right? No longer is it going to be any of those things. No longer is it going to be random men, random women, whatever the case might be. No longer. So divorcing your hurt, all right? So that way you can take back the control in a healthy way. Take back your control in a healthy way. Okay? So listen, I thank God for y'all joining me for Healing Your Heartbeat on tonight. I hope you received something from, amen, our discussion on tonight. And listen, we'll be back. Hit that like and that subscribe and that bell notification so that you'll know when I come live. All right. So thank y'all for joining me on tonight. I hope everything, amen. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope everything works out well. Whatever you're going to do this weekend, hope it works in your favor. All right. So have a great weekend, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me for Healing Your Heartbeat on tonight. All right. I want y'all to have an awesome weekend. God bless you. We love you. Have an awesome evening.